Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, you know this does not work without you guys. Let's get open for business and let's wake up the football gods here this Monday afternoon. And yes, things are looking kind of bleak right now as we get ready to take on the Eagles, where we sit 3-3 and being trolled by everybody. Um, I always say pay attention to Stephen Jones and what Stephen Jones says. Stephen Jones doesn't sugarcoat it. Stephen Jones doesn't hide anything. Stephen Jones, generally speaking, when he says something, it's something that's going to happen. Jerry Jones, on the other hand, says a lot of things, and I mean a lot of things. And sometimes, they don't always come true. But when Stephen Jones speaks, you better listen. So Stephen Jones was talking about Jason Garrett, and he reiterated what his dad had said the day before, which was that Jason Garrett is not on the hot seat. But at first I was like, oh. But in all reality, would he say, yeah, Jason Garrett's coaching for his job next week? Would he actually say that? Would he come out? And it reminded me of talking to a friend this weekend who on Saturday had to go in and fire somebody. And what she had said was, I hate to fire this person because I really like her, but she made a big mistake that cost us a whole lot of money. And so I got to go let her go because we can't have that in our company. And so that person didn't know that she was on the hot seat. It was just that, bam, she got fired. And when you think about, say, Jay Gruden, the Redskins didn't come out and say, Jay Gruden, you're coaching for your job against New England. They never said anything. It was all the speculation from the talking heads and people like us that say things are just bad there with the Redskins and they need to make a change. That this guy has had enough time and we feel like the team is done with them. And that's where you look at it and say, okay, but the team wouldn't really come out and put it that way. You wouldn't. The only thing they might do is we're giving you a vote of confidence, which is about as close to saying that you're on the hot seat. If you've got the vote of confidence from the guys, then you better be getting your resume ready because you're about to get fired. So, if there's any saving grace, provided that you believe that it is Jason Garrett's fault. Um, when Wade Phillips was here, when Jason Garrett got the job in midseason, the Cowboys kept saying to Wade Phillips, that, oh, Wade Phillips is safe. He's, we're not going to fire. He's good till the end of the season, then we'll decide. And then they fired him 8 games in. If the Cowboys continue to go south, you can look for something to happen. Right now, they're not pushing the panic button just yet. They're saying, okay, let's see what happens with the Eagles. Because here's the reality of football. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll probably be saying it as I'm going to my grave. You go from the penthouse to the outhouse and to the outhouse to the penthouse in the course of 2 weeks in the NFL. You can look completely lost, overmanned, overmatched, and just completely butt ugly. But then you can also turn it on. We have some guys. I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know what happened with Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith had 3 tackles. DeMarcus Lawrence had 2 tackles and no quarterback hits or sacks. Byron Jones, he's not there. Vander Esch, Wolf Hunter, Predator, Hot Boys, that ain't there. Collectively, we've got a lot of people that just are not there. But the thing that I wonder, and you guys can tell me if I'm crazy or not, but here's the thing with the Cowboys. When the Cowboys are healthy, they can play against anybody, right? But when the Cowboys get an injury or two, all of a sudden things go south. Think about 2015. You lose Tony Romo. You go from 12-4 to 4-12. You have other teams that lose their quarterback. I think the Minnesota Vikings were on their third quarterback and made the playoffs. I think Brandon Whedon, who was our quarterback in our system for a year and a half, he goes to the Texans, and in a week and a half, he ends up being able to win games. Matt Flynn stepped in for Aaron Rodgers and ended up beating us. But we lose Tyron Smith. All of a sudden, we're letting Claiborne get 5-6 sacks on us in Atlanta, looking like world beaters. We lose Sean Lee. We went from 80 yards on the ground, rushers, to 180. And so we lose Amari Cooper yesterday, and we're back to where we were before we had Amari Cooper. And this is where you kind of wonder is, how come we can't seem to weather an injury or two? We lose a Zeke Elliott, and all of a sudden, the coaches didn't know what to do. They were still able to run the ball effectively, but they didn't run the ball because they figured Zeke's not there. And I wonder, in my mind, being able to adjust, being able to plug and play guys, having people prepared for a game, because I keep looking at the starts of our games. I'm happy that we're finally learning how to adjust, because our bugaboo used to be we played great in the first half. We have a great plan there, but then other teams would figure that out, and then they would go the second half and kill us, and we couldn't adjust. We stuck with what we came there with, and the other team adjusted and kicked our butts. Now we're better at adjusting to the other teams, but it's too little too late. You've already created being behind too far to try and catch up. And I think that goes back to coaching. And I look at the amount of talent that we have. Now, we got lots of things that are, and like I said, a lot of people were going to point the finger at Dak. It's all Dak. He's just not a winner. And I can point around and say, well, you see Jared Goff with his 13 QBR? Players will have good games and bad games, but when you have drops, when you have penalties, when you have guys that are injured, and you don't have time, you lose collectively as a team. Now, again, I know to some of you guys, like some of you trolls out there, it doesn't matter what you say. Whenever you lose, it's on the quarterback. That's just the way it is. Of course, with those same sums of you, when the quarterback plays well and they win, it's everybody else. But the Cowboys need to really look at this situation more and figure out if you're just happy with just doing this. I know you're making money. I know you're selling jerseys. I know you're getting people coming to AT&T, because Lord knows I didn't spend enough money over the last 7-8 years with the Cowboys. But we need to get this thing together. The final saving grace is you get a win against Philadelphia. Things look a whole lot better than they do right now. And maybe, just maybe, this is the darkest before the dawn, and maybe this is why the Cowboys aren't pushing the panic button just yet. We'll definitely be talking about this tonight during our live stream at 9 o'clock Eastern. I'm sure it's going to be hot and heavy with Eagle fans. But I want to remind you, Eagle fans, I know we lost to the Jets. We lost to the Jets, team you beat last week. I'll remind you that you guys are a disappointment right now, too. We were told that you were the best team in football. We were told that you had more depth than anybody. We were told that Carson Wentz was an MVP candidate. And now, you lost to Minnesota. You lost to the Lions. And I know we lost to a winless team, but Atlanta's only win was against you. So how is that much different than what you got? Excuse me, than what we got? Whew. We need a win bad, because I think this is literally killing me. I'm Mark Holmes, and well, I'll see you guys tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern. Bring your pencils sharpened, because we going to school. I'll see you guys soon.